Yeah, so we are starting over. So kind of just left it off here. Just kind of realized the scope was just much too large. And part of it just being this whole building scheme that I was trying to come up with. It was just, I realized I was spending like all of my time on, maybe I thought at first this would be important, and I think it is important, but maybe not for the immediate game that I'm making right now. The important part is the social NPC aspect, kind of the interactions between you and the village, the community that you make, more important than building your own fancy building. And there's just so many problems you have to solve if you want to like make a building. So I don't think that's what we're gonna work on. You can see already, like, there's like, there are things I could solve. It's just, it's not stuff that I think is worth my time. But this wasn't a complete waste of time. I think some of the systems I built were very useful. Maybe I should drop the whole idea of a grid. Just make a floor. Think that's what I'm gonna start with. Just gonna make a floor. And I think I need to figure out cartoon texture pack. I need to get this texture pack. Where did I get that texture pack? Or materials, maybe? Yeah, I'm not trying to use these, so I don't know if there's like a... Where did I find this? This definitely looks like an asset. It's like 86 textures or materials. This is not very detailed. I'm really confused. Like, where did I get this texture pack from? Why is there like no sources listed anywhere? Obviously, I've used this before. Is this it? Oh, this is it. just a really good starting point to use this, so I don't have to think about a full player controller. And I have to always, oh gosh, what the hell? Unity, why can't I like click around? I don't actually want to do that. It's so annoying having to fix this every time. Can I not just take mine? I have to be able to just take this one. Yeah, has to be. Now we're just gonna look at all the errors and fix them. Shouldn't be too difficult. We just need to get an input system action. I see. Because we need a reference manager. Input systems action. Okay, let's just copy this design. And that's a start.
Apple Card is a no-fee credit card that you can apply for right from the Wallet app on your iPhone, subject to credit approval. Variable APRs for Apple Card range from 17.49% to 27.74% based on creditworthiness. Rates as of January 1st, 2026. Existing customers can view their variable APR in the Wallet app or at card.apple.com. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Okay, there we go. Now I can actually make my objects. Cool. Now I got the input. And let's get the character. So I think this is a problem for the script execution order. And we need to add reference manager and input manager. Okay, I got rid of a ton of errors. I think. Is there 2 audio listeners? Where's Crouch? There it is. Okay, well, no errors. That's good. To start. Now, question is, what is null? The input. Okay, that took long enough. First person look, for some reason, is showing as null. Question is, switch these. You can't have a reference manager without the references already there, or instantiating them on the reference manager. There we go. It works. Okay. Step 1 done. Let's just get some real quick materials. And I need to fix this, so I need to make a note of this. I have to do this every time. And it's like
something in your
not
Unity
every
project
works
is
for
shaders
this.
are listed in their own sections. The editor also contains a quick method for converting some materials by going to Edit, Rendering, or Render Pipe.
Even if you tried Monday.com before, it's a brand new platform now. Here's 3 new AI-powered changes to the...
Okay, so pink, make sure that you're on Windows Unity Registry and type in pipeline. Rendering settings, and then down here,
Yeah, this is the one.
rendering pipeline converter.
Rendering pipeline converter.
Converter, rendering settings, and then down here to material upgrade, and then down here to initialize converters, and initialize and convert.
Just something to look at while we're mucking around in this new game. Okay, cool. That's good. Now, what are the first things we need to start thinking about implementing? This is like the absolute minimum. I need a tree. I need to be able to interact with it. Every item needs to derive from the same class type. But the question I'm trying to figure out so tree. You have a tree. It's a tree, right? And let's say you have items like pineapples. And you have items you can use on the player. Let's call it like just like a pickaxe or something like this, and then just for simplicity's sake, like a pickaxe, and then you can, well, let's just make this up, an axe. Alright, now let's just label them for the sake of knowing what everything actually is. So, whenever the raycast points at a tree or points at a pineapple or whatever I use an axe, maybe they all need to start with being an interactable or a non-interactable. But like, that's the question is, like, what if I have a wall which is non-interactable, but I have a pineapple which is interactable. And so I raycast, say like, you have a camera right here. And in this camera, I raycast to the wall. And I raycast to the interactable. I think they should share the same type. They should be... They should be items in the world that whenever you point at it... But why was I having issues with it? It's because... The issue that I was having... It's this build item data. When I had like this player equipped item, that's a reference to where I need them all to be a parented class, so therefore the raycasts can target them, and then I can derive the type after that. So whenever I have something like this, I don't have to mess with types. And this is probably why types are bad. So I need like just anything that's in the world like this needs to have a common type. Base classes. Column world objects. I want to make it an abstract class. Just basically instead of a build item data like this, and we really just want it to be data right here. Don't want anything physical or anything complex. We just want basic data. So we want the name of the object. It's gonna be public too. We can make everything public here. Name. And public, we need an ID. It's like UUID. Is that even like possible? What's like a UUID data type C#? GUID. I think I have to import something, I'm pretty sure. Okay, it's in system. Item, ID. Anything else? Its position. I need to know its position. Anything else that's important to know about an object in the world? think that's fine for now. We can build off of this. So now we need to basically discern interactable and non-interactable. Question is, this is an abstract class, so is there anything we're even overriding here? Does it need to be an abstract class? I don't think it does. This could probably just be an interface. I'm not sure. Let's ask. Should this be an abstract class? What are the pros and cons of interface versus abstract class? I want this to represent all objects in the world, so I can recast and discern type later. Oh, wait.
PNC Bank brings you Call of the Wild Money Moves. Hear that?
I don't know why it always wants to do this.
That's an internet troll telling you to put all your money into a single investment. He wants you to liquidate your emergency fund.
Actually, it is smart to do this because just purely,
Stay vigilant.
like,
very
it's
persistent. Guard against wild money moves with PNC
just an
Bank.
extra step,
Brilliantly boring since 1865.
but at least the IDE gives me a reference location if I make getters and setters, so I don't even want to write them because this would be a waste of time. So write the, actually it's just get set, so we can just do that, right? Can I just get set? There, now we get the reference list that we want. Is every object going to be a mono behavior? Most likely is the case. So this makes sense. I just wouldn't use this for like things that are not actually objects. That's a good point. Position can go stale. Okay, we got a world object class. Now we are going to have to think of the types of different objects we'd have in the game. So you can have, so for interactables, you can have food. You can have a house. Or building. Let's just call it a building. You can have, what else can I pick up? Like a resource, just of any kind. Maybe it's just resource. You can have, what else is interactable? I think even NPCs should be world objects too. Or let's just call it character. Should be interactable. And then what else is like interactable besides characters, buildings, food? Okay, shit. Didn't mean to do that. Let's do some MHA. Blast it. So we've got these interactables. It could be just for future's sake. It could be anything. It could be like a book. So these are like going to be made for sure types of things. Just random stuff, like a book. Maybe like even, I think item is what I'm looking for. Let's like make a sword, maybe. It's just an item. but it's a weapon. Okay, I think... But interactable makes more sense than... Interactable just means I can interact with it. That's it. So, I'm going to create a class for that. Let's call it interactable. It's gonna be a basically a world object. Okay, so it's interactable, which is a world object. Let's rename this to world object, just because. Interactables require... Can this be an abstract class as well? Can I just do 2? Because this needs to also be abstract. Maybe I should think more compositionally. Like this should be... interactable. And on an interface, I could do public interact. That's all I need, really. Just interact. The question is interact ever different? It should always just like you raycast, you interact, and then it triggers the interaction. So it should never be different. So I think it makes more sense to be an abstract class. Maybe, no, it should be interface. Capability, not identity. I think that's good. Something that I need to write down. I think that's a good distinction that I've never really, everyone just kind of, for the most part, I don't think they think too hard about object-oriented programming and the pros and cons of it. Or compositional, for that matter. It's either like object-oriented or compositional because they're tired of object-oriented, but it's never like, there's use cases for both. And I think this is the use case, really. Yeah, it makes more sense for an interface. So this should not be here. It should just be part of the base classes. Let's just call this base. Maybe I interact. It's a bit more succinct sounding. And then we can do I non. It's just a world object. There's nothing, if it doesn't interact, I don't really need a distinction for non-interactable. Okay, so we know okay, cool. We know that some items that we'll have will be like gatherable items, gatherables. Maybe gatherable is also a behavior, a capability, not an identity. And those things can be, for example, food or or a building. These don't have to go here. We need to make a client. These are all client systems. And this World objects. It's fine, we'll just leave it there for now. World objects can be things like buildings or food. It could be a lot more things, but according to our design, we're only going to go by the design, so we don't go too extra. I think it could be buildings, food, it could be, what are like weapons and pickaxes? I think tool is a good general word. But I need a generalized word that serves as a base for for tools, weapons, items, etc. Item. I can't think. Items. Buildings or items. Does that break down everything that could ever exist? Characters. I think characters would be another world object, right? So yeah, so building characters, items, and okay, that fits. Okay. Let's work on items first. And I think it makes sense to make an item an abstract class. I think you could do 2 abstract classes. That is also I think this only needs like an item type, and that's it. This is all this should be. So I don't even need mono behavior because I have that's what a world object is. It's just an item, and it's an item type, which could be what? It could be food, it could be a weapon, it could be a tool. Anything else? Some trade-offs. Really, it's about how the design is going to be limited, because the more you design, the more complex you have to start thinking about how the systems are related. And so I have to think what would be the worst case, how far that would go. And then probably reel it back to something reasonable. Item type, so yeah, I think here it actually makes sense. I don't know if this even needs to be an abstract class, but I think I could know what the item type is, but as well, what did I do for images UI? I think it was in the scriptable object contains the image. So icon sprite, that's what I'm looking for. I want it to be a sprite. Okay, once it's a scriptable object, it's like, that's the end of the road, it seems. So you have like, world, object, extract, and then you have item, class, Food. Scriptable object. You cannot add further abstractions below. Okay, wait. Descriptable objects would be like tons of different types. Like pineapple, for example, would be a descriptable object. Do I even need an item type then? Suggestions. So item and then food. Is there any need to be this granular? Yeah, item could be character or building, and then it would matter. Let's compare. So this is kind of the suggestion. like that, I want you to format mine into a similar manner so I can compare. See what it's saying. It basically is what I suggested, just with a little bit of a different naming.
My hero, show me what I gotta do. Made up my mind, wanna be like you, don't care. Whatever people say, I know I'll resurface you. I know I will. Sometimes anything doesn't go wrong. Well, I keep trying, keep moving. I don't believe in what I'm working on.
Okay, I agree. Mostly. Not all of it, but it's not that important, but it is. Just so I don't forget what I'm doing, we're just going to write all these base classes out. I don't want to do too much of this, because then you're kind of getting into the mindset of not really getting anything done, but just enough to keep track.
Everything I see, everything I feel, all the thing I have is for this way.
Okay, let's work on the first object, which should be food. I think food can derive from item object.
Everything's gonna be okay, be alright. I will say you, in this way. I worked. Just so much left. Just money, just open your mind. No getting top is so tough. Like keeping
All item objects should be
so I'm gonna live in prison.
so we have to make this an abstract because can I do that? I can't include an interface, but I think I can. I have to be able to because can I do this? Alright, how can I best do this?
Look at how things change. You know, it's been a long time.
Oh wait,
I wanna know when you win. I show you something. What?
I add an interface to make something inherit behavior capability like interact, but if I use an interface I just implement without overriding. This probably doesn't matter. Or I know I want all item objects to be interactable. But I want all these items to be interactable, but the interaction may be different. Doesn't make sense. I was wondering if it made sense, because it doesn't, I don't think, but okay, really? Like, I can just declare abstract on that and override it? This should be public. Does that work though? Oh. There we go. now I can do what I need to do. And all food should be the same. So, therefore, it should be a scriptable object, actually. Or should it? Never thought of that before. Do we want to do this? Is it getting too complex for the sake of the organization? Really thinking hard. So, it's the question that I'd be hard coding versus getting a scriptable object. All food's the same. It would make sense. But you can't make an item object with a... I think it makes sense to do it that way, to make this an item object, and also include the game object. Just food, just the type. maybe I make a scriptable object implementation of this. Is this a good idea? Trying to figure that out. Let's draw it out because I think it could be a good idea. It's just this is an item object. Say an item object, but the item data is like it's contained within, but it is interchangeable with a bunch of different scriptable objects. The interact function. Which basically asks so let's call this so you have the interaction, you have the item data that's interchangeable, and the function basically is a list of instructions that says from item data run the interact function. But this just allows me to, because I am object derives world object. this should be more like this. Yeah, call it food data. That makes a lot more sense. This is so annoying. Like, I should not spend too much time on this, but it just has to be decent enough. Let's figure out how would we call it then. Like, for example, if it's a world object item object data. Yeah, this is kind of what I'm trying to find here. See. Item data. think I get it, but we'll see. Oh, this is... I don't want it to be too convoluted. I don't like it. I'm not gonna do it. So... I think this makes sense though. Having item data, and it makes sense now. I just gotta write it myself. Okay, and then we have don't know what this is for. I think this is my... I think I went a little bit too far in the organization of it. I think maybe not though. We'll find out. Interact. So if I... with this, it's just so convoluted. Okay, it's scriptable object, right? Yeah. It just looks so disgusting. I don't know if I want to do this. It just sounds like a good idea. It probably is not a good idea. Okay, this might not be a good idea. World object to item object to data. Contained in object item data that then goes into food. So runs interact, then runs interact. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Item data. I'm just deleting it all. Okay. So it goes from world object with a name and ID to basically an item with data. I don't want to call this item data. I'm going to call this item. Okay. Okay, this is where we want to be saying this is object. Okay, let's review. Good middle ground. Oh yeah. I don't want to do that. I guess it makes sense though. Because if we take a look here, run this, and we have a scriptable object. This just makes it obtuse. It's so obtuse. I get what it's trying to achieve. I don't think that's the correct way to do this. It's trying to make me do it. You have to have it to be a scriptable object. It has to be. Otherwise, it's just... Okay, we'll do it. We're doing it. Okay. Fine. Item object. Where is the... It doesn't define the interactable. It doesn't even know what it is. I think it says interact right here. Okay, this already makes sense. We just have an interact right here. I interact. Okay, I need the user. Uh-huh. Then we interact using the item data. The item data is here. That implements this. That then... item data. Where's the food? Okay, so this is like the creation of the actual scriptable object. Okay, there we go. Wait, like... Okay, and then we have to add, like, actual data in the food item. Would be public... Hunger satisfaction rate. Prefab, like a game object. In-game object prefab. This can have sprite for the icon. And maybe some audio. And then just do some things here like debug.log. And name. Oh, there's already a name, so it's gonna be a get name. Can I not do that? Why doesn't want to be an object? just for the sake of experimentation, we can make a sphere. Ah, shit. Pineapple material. It's a little bit more yellow. And bright. Okay, that's... will do. There we go. Let's do this. There we go. Okay, pineapple. Whatever. The icon. There's no icon. For now. Then there's the eat sound. Spelled that wrong. Okay, there we go. Now we can just figure out okay, I gotta go. But we're making some some progress of like figuring out how we're gonna do this. It still needs a lot of work. Anyway.